Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. Coming at you live from my home studio
I guess I
in
didn't
beautiful
turn
La
off the
Puente.
noise. Don't talk back to me. Very unprofessional show here. What is going on, Clinton Nation? This is a show that is part of the Believe network of podcasts. It's something I probably should be mentioning a little bit more often. But on today's show, we're talking about them bad luck Dodgers. We got the latest on Mookie Betts, just dropped minutes before going live. Plus, Yoshinobu Yamamoto injury update. Haven't really talked much about him yet. And, of course, Monday Overreactions, our heatiest Monday Overreactions yet, and we're going to look ahead to the series in hell, also known as Colorado Coors Field, on another edition of All Dodgers Live. First, I am Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG on the social media things. Longtime baseball writer, covering the Dodgers for years, and now we do it here on my channel. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you would not mind. It's completely free. We're getting super close to 7K, which is awesome. So if you guys can help us get to 7,000 subscribers this week, that would be cool. Or if we can do it before the end of the month, I'd love the hell out of you. So consider doing that. Consider giving the video a thumbs up on the way in. A thumbs up in solidarity with Marcus Lynn Betts and that broken hand. But the chat, I see the chat already going off. We got to talk to the chat. Which you guys should be doing if you're live. If you're here watching this live, jump into the chat. Let's see who's going on. What's going on here? We got BC in the chat. We got Kenny Chung, Roy Estrada hanging out with us here in an earlier edition of All Dodgers Live, 4 p.m. edition, pre-game show, because for some reason the game started at 5:40 in Colorado because of time differences. I guess that's for some reason. Kenny Chung says boycott the City Connect merch. Not a very good-looking jersey. Talked about that earlier on Dodgers Territory, which is a show I co-host with Alana Rizzo, former Dodger reporter, now a Dodger reporter again, alongside with me on the Foul Territory Network. Not a fan. Not a big fan of that stupid-ass jersey. But we'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. Roy Estrada loving the lineup. Lineup dropped a couple minutes ago as well. Mookie Betts not in that leadoff spot. Shohei Ohtani is in the leadoff spot, at least for the time being, and taking his spot in the number 2 hole is Will Smith. Dave keeps Freddie Freeman in that 3rd spot instead of moving him back to his kind of more familiar 2 hole in the lineup. So Francisco says, let's never play the Royals again. Please tell me about it. Preach into the choir here, because they sucked real bad against the Royals last year. This time it was a little bit different. This time they took 2 of 3, but also mostly died, which isn't ideal. Also, I should tell you guys, if you happen to be listening on Apple or Spotify, please consider giving the show a nice rating. Review it if you can. It's something that really helps out the channel, helps out the network, just to throw that out there. Badan Coes wants the Dodgers to trade for Elly De La Cruz. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think the Reds are going to give up Elly De La Cruz yet, unless the Dodgers significantly overwhelm them in a return. Just throwing that out there. Craig Osterberg says Little League Dodgers uniform. You know, this isn't even, it's not good enough for slow pitch softball, for beer league softball. It's really just not a good uniform. What is a good comment, though, is Ghost Bear saying thumbs up has been given. Thank you very much, Ghost Bear. Appreciate you. Never thought I would say those words together in that sequence. But I got some other words to say in this sequence real quick before we get back into it. BetOnline is your number 1 source for all your sports betting needs this season, from baseball, golf, soccer, to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads when games are being played. So when the game's over, if there's not a game happening, head on over. They got an online casino. There's blackjack. There's poker. You can unwind with over 150 slot games they have at BetOnline. Head to the website today. You can get in on the action by using promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV. Use that promo code. You get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's pretty dang cool. That's just as good as almost money. So BetOnline, the game starts here. And, I appreciate the folks in the chat with the emojis, which is funny to me. Of course, people in the chat with the emojis are part of our YouTube members program, membership, whatever you want to call. There's a button somewhere below me if you want to join YouTube members. But I love seeing those. Those are really funny. Let me know what emojis you guys want me to add as well. Those were just graphics that I already had from the original version of this show's logo, the current version, and old Blue Heaven version of my little caricature. But yeah, let's talk about the latest news out of not Dodger Stadium, out of Coors Field, where the Dodgers are at. Of course, I don't think Mookie traveled with the team. He did stay in LA. That's not that I don't think. He did not travel with the team. Stayed in LA, visited the hand specialist, and got the update today. So the bad news, all around bad news, it feels like, for this team over the last 48 hours, because you have Yamamoto, then you have Mookie Betts. It's not even 48 hours. It's really 24 hours of time. And we're talking in our Patreon / YouTube member Discord server, where we're all talking during games and all that. And this was the vibe after Mookie Betts' hand was broken. This was the vibe in the Discord server. And I think people in here who were in the chat can attest to it.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are going to be okay.
This is fine indeed. Everything is fine. Like I like to say on the show, our pets' heads are falling off. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. Dodgers absolutely in the midst of a rough patch, to say the least. Luckily it's happening now, but it's still not fun. It's still not fun at all. Injuries piling up, now up to 14 Dodgers currently on the injured list, as Richard Flores drops a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Richie, from Devore. Says F the City Connects and the parking lot. We'll be hearing from Richard in a little bit later in Monday Overreactions as well. Sarah Morris in the chat. Good to see your name in here, Sarah. Sarah's tired after writing 3 600-word articles on Sunday. You got to let the juices flow when bad things happen with the Dodgers. Diane says, keep smashing that like button for your guy Clint. Appreciate you, Diane, doing the Lord's work in here. And she also backs me up in the fact that everything was fine. We were on fire. Our pets' heads were falling off, but we're fine. I see my guy Tim in the chat. What's going on, Tim? Says, hey, Clint, hoping they give Lipsius a shot. Miguel Vargas does not seem to be a fit on this team. Breaks my heart. Yeah, Miggy Vargas coming back up. So that's the move. Of course, Mookie Betts officially placed on the injured list today, the 10-day IL. He's going to be out. He's going to be out for a hot minute. They brought back Vargas because they could, but they're not going to have an abundance of opportunity to let this dude play. They say, Dave Roberts said on Sunday that he would likely be the guy and he would be starting against left-handed pitching. I don't see it. We'll see how that goes. The Dodgers face a lefty in Colorado on, I think it's Tuesday, so tomorrow is when they face it. But face a lefty, so we'll see. Is Miguel Vargas going to be in the lineup, or is he going to get buried once again? I would much rather see Andre Lipsius in the lineup. But we're going to be talking more Andre Lipsius later on this week on the channel, so hit that subscribe button, guys. And appreciate Tim hanging out with us. No longer Dodgers 2080, his channel, by the way, guys. Make sure you guys go following Blue Madness. He's my guy. Austin Brubaker in the chat. What's going on? Austin said, hope you're doing well, Clint. Great show with Dodgers Territory this afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to plug. We had Eric Karros. Myself and Alana had Eric Karros on the show today talking about the Mookie Betts situation, getting his pulse, his insight into the team and where he feels like this roster, this organization, that clubhouse, that group of dudes is at after a double dose of devastating blows, where we wonder, are we cursed as fans? We wonder, is this team cursed? So Mookie Betts visits the hand doctor today, official just minutes before, going to miss roughly 6 to 8 weeks with a hand fracture. And like I've been saying, and other people said, I think the first person I saw who mentioned it online was our friend Jeff Snyder of Locked On Dodgers. He is one who pointed out the Corey Seager connection. 2021, Siegs had the broken finger in his right hand, the fifth metacarpal or whichever bone it was, and he was out for 65 games, missed from the difference here. but there's about 1 month of difference, though, which kind of goes against Mookie and the Dodgers this year. Missed 65 games from May 15th and was back on July 30th. So if we're following that timeline, let's say it is, closer to that 8-week range. We're going to be without Mookie Betts until early September, very late August. That's kind of like a middling case scenario, I guess, or borderline worst case scenario. So there is time. There is time for Mookie to get back in the saddle, get back into action, get the swing going. We'll see whether or not he will remain the shortstop by that time, or if they're going to go all in on Miguel Rojas, if they would have made a trade. They have time. They have a month and a half to figure out if Miguel Rojas is the shortstop, if Miggy Rowe if his body can handle being the shortstop. So we'll see, kind of how the next few weeks really play out for this team. But they're already active. Andrew Friedman's making his calls. He's kind of doing his cursory checks. One of the big problems is, as I've mentioned before, I mentioned this morning in the bigger Mookie Betts piece of content that I dropped. Every team is kind of in it right now with all of, 16 teams or whatever it is that make the playoffs, 14 teams that make the playoffs. Nobody knows whether they're buyers or sellers at this moment. And that goes against the Dodgers making a big move right now. I would argue, I'm not going to go into it too much again. Watch the video if you want to hear more about it. I would argue that if you can put together a package that Stevie Cohen likes, you could probably make a Francisco Lindor deal work with the Mets sending a butt ton of money back. But I'm aware that's just me saying words. The reality of a Francisco Lindor trade to the Dodgers are very slim, very minimal, but they are odds nonetheless. So we'll say it again. There's a silver lining that it happened now. It didn't happen in August. Mookie Betts' season is not done. Miguel Rojas will be taking over at shortstop, something we kind of wanted. I definitely wanted for quite some time here. I don't know what that is. That is apparently a voicemail sound or somebody calling the voicemail hotline right now, active, but we're not going to answer the call live because I don't know what they're going to say. Can't do that. It's frightening stuff. But Miguel Rojas, he'll be the guy. I had kind of opined the idea of maybe, or just threw out the idea, maybe Gavin Lux getting another shot. I asked Eric Karros about that earlier. I did bring that clip here, bringing Eric's facts to the fight. Just the idea of Gavin Lux. Well, I'm going to set it up for you anyway, so just listen to me and then let's listen to EK. I want to talk Gavin Lux potentially moving back to shortstop after all the drama we saw at the end of spring training. In his head a little bit, he looks like he's settling in. He's looking more comfortable playing Major League Baseball again after missing all that time with the knee. Would this team, would this front office kind of risk his mental state a little bit to maybe see if he can slide back to shortstop just to give themselves a little more optionality, as Dave Roberts might call it? Could that be something?
Right.
Luck?
I don't think so. Right now, you've got him in a situation where he's played some very good defensive second base. He's starting to swing the bat better. Rojas is going to get the bulk of the reps. Kike Hernandez is going to get some reps over there. They do have some guys. Trey Sweeney down in AAA. Does he eventually get a look? It's one of the things where I don't believe that they revisit the situation at short with Gavin. It wouldn't be right for Gavin, quite frankly.
I like that point. I like the way EK talked me out of it. Like I wasn't in on the idea. The whole idea of this is Kenny Chung says Clint is the agent of chaos, which I appreciate that. I'm gonna give that one a clap, give that a couple of points, which don't mean anything on the stream. They mean something in here. But it was spitballing. It was an opportunity. It's a slightly open door just to see if they could dip their toes into the Lux water. But I agree, it's kind of a disservice to Lux. Roy Estrada says, Clint, you knew better than to bring up Lux back to shortstop. Yeah, but apparently I'm an agent of chaos, and we're having a little bit of fun here with some time to kill in the calendar, as it were. You got a long, still a lot of season left. Over 100 games, or just under 100 games, just around 100 games left. There's still plenty of baseball to be played, but we should not see Gavin Lux suiting up at shortstop. I think we would see Trey Sweeney at short before we see Lux. But there's kind of the latest with the Mookie situation. Again, out 6 to 8 weeks, broken hand. So that puts him back sometime maybe mid to late August, and that's kind of the best case scenario. But we will live through the trade deadline with Mookie on the sideline, and that's where we're going to learn what this team is about. Mookie aside, the hits keep coming. Haven't really talked about it on the channel yet. We talked about it in an emergency post-game stream on Saturday. The Yoshinobu Yamamoto situation, things got worse for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Instead of being a triceps injury, it is a rotator cuff injury, which breaking rotator cuff is more worser than a triceps injury. Not going to be picking up a baseball for a couple of weeks, according to Dave Roberts. However many a couple is to Dave, TBD. Could be 3, could be 2, could be 4. But he'll pick up a baseball again in a few weeks, be reassessed. I'm definitely a lot more worried about this now than I was on Saturday. I didn't think there was as much smoke to the situation. But I think the problem with that was we didn't really know. Dave didn't really understand. He wasn't brought in fully at the time to know how bad the situation was. And that kind of comes from the communication side with Yamamoto. He kind of, you can only, as a manager, you can only go off what your player is telling you. And the player said, no, I think I can go. And, this is not exactly how the conversation went. I was not there. But that's kind of the brevity of the conversation. He said he can go. He said he felt good enough to be able to go. They did push him back because there was a little bit of residual soreness coming out of that Yankees series. But now, again, won't be picking up a baseball for a few weeks. Pretty damn big blow. Dave did say they do not expect it to be season ending. Kind of scared about that as well. You hope for the best. Worth noting, the most recent comp I found kind of with the rotator cuff issue, and we still don't know how bad. They didn't reveal how bad the rotator cuff strain is, but last year, Yankee starter Nestor Cortez, he missed 2 months early in the season with the rotator cuff thing, came back for a few starts, and then re-aggravated it and missed the rest of the season. And that's where you worry. You worry about trying to force him back and the secondary injury or re-aggravating an injury, and then this becoming an injury or an issue that just kind of keeps, lingering, just kind of sticks around, and hopefully, or you hope it doesn't become like a surgery situation. But again, that was the most recent comp in baseball. I don't want to throw around blame. I don't want to cast around blame, we'll say, but I do wonder, and I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier on Dodgers territory. It's a little bit Yoshinobu Yamamoto's fault, just because he wasn't as open, as honest about how he felt in that shoulder at that moment. So, or whatever. Not in that moment, but at least leading into that start, or even before the Yankees start. So it was his first real opportunity to kind of communicate with his new team, with the major league team, and kind of, it was a swing and a miss. He struck out when it came to communicating with Dave, communicating with Mark Pryor in the front office and all that. But for now, Bobby Miller is going to take that place in the starting rotation. We're not going to see a 6-man rotation for a little while, but in the interim, James Paxton survives, and we 100% need Walker Buehler to step the fuck up. This is time for Walker Buehler to become that butane of old. They need him now more than they ever have this season. So let's get into some comments here Let's see. Noah Ortega talking about never seen Pryor run that fast in the dugout. Not a very happy feeling when you're seeing that. You get quite concerned quite quickly. Michael Negretti in the chat talking about my worser. Yeah, it's more worser. Come on. Don't you know the good words? I have the best words. Let's see. Joe Mama's in the chat, so we should always bring up when Joe Mama's in the house. Jose Gutierrez has joined the chat, pointing out that yes, Shohei Ohtani is going to be leading off in all games now. Dave mentioned in his pregame scrum that he's not sure if he's going to change it against a lefty, but most likely it will be Shohei Ohtani against all options. Monster on the 4-string. So we got a bassist in the chat. What's going on? Monster says Taylor is not an option. Yeah, worth noting. When Seager was out in 2021, Dodgers did very good with him on the sidelines. They went 40-25, and that was mostly mostly Chris Taylor and Gavin Lux playing shortstop while he was out. But they also had a lot of firepower, that team in 2021. Mike Sears asking, will Vargas play some second base? It not very likely. It doesn't scream like it's very likely. The fact that they've stashed him in left field and they're barely even playing him there. He doesn't have a defensive spot on this team, in this organization. I don't think they're bought in. I personally kind of liked the defense I was seeing out of him at second base last year. It wasn't terrible to me, at least the eye test of it. But I am not a major league evaluator. I'm a dude, either sitting on a couch watching a game. I'm not playing there on the field and all that kind of stuff. But I don't see Miguel Vargas being an option in the infield ever again for this team, unless it's like first base. They feel confident enough about him at first base, but they got a guy there who plays 161 games a year at the position. We got the question, BC, is Taylor starting today? Did not see that lineup, and he is not in the lineup. You do have Biggio at third base, Gavin Lux at second base, batting ninth, and Mickey Rowe, shortstop, hitting in that 7 spot. Definitely a very different lineup without Mookie Betts in it. You don't feel very good about that Dodgers lineup with Mookie Betts out. I'll tell you one thing I do feel pretty damn good about, guys. It's a special day here at All Dodgers. It's so special, in fact. I'm going to go back to the big one shot here, because big news to share today. Officially, I'm excited to announce that I've partnered with Autograph. I already mentioned it earlier in the Mookie Betts video. I'll make this one quicker, but it's a fandom company co-founded by Tom Brady. Yes, that one. They have a new app. It's called Autograph Fandom Rewarded, and it gives diehard fans like you, people who would hang out in a random Dodgers chat at 4 p.m. on a Monday. It gives you a one-stop shop for more Dodgers content, the best fan content for your favorite team. I'm on there as well. My show, our show, is on Autograph. But the good thing about it, it rewards you. It actually does give you some sort of reward for keeping up with your team. You get coins that give you coins for reading articles, for listening to content. You can use those coins to enter in on raffles for actual real-life stuff. Like you could eventually hold it, which is pretty damn cool. Right now they have I think it's a signed Clayton Kershaw jersey. There's also an autographed Mookie Betts baseball. Mookie Betts is part of Autograph as well. He just signed up and he announced it on his social media very recently. There's some options as well to work with, to hang out. Some opportunities, I should say, to hang out with Mookie Betts. So it's pretty cool. I need to tell you, use my referral code RealFRG. If you click the link in the bio, I actually got to add the bio here. Click the link in the description, I should say. But if you click that link, use my referral code, they'll know you heard me, you listened to me, you're downloading it because of me, and they'll like me. And in turn, maybe we can keep working together. And I'm not just telling you guys this because they're paying me to or whatever. I actually genuinely like this app. It's a pretty damn cool app. Super easy to use. Very clean app. And I'm going to have more information on the app later this week. But check it out. Download the Autograph app in the App Store or in the Google Play Store today. It is free. They don't want any credit card information. You just need an email to sign up with, and you have access to everything. It's not just baseball. It's not just Dodgers either. all your teams, all your sports are there. And it's a really cool way, again, really cool way, all in one spot to keep up with everybody. Everybody, even enemies that don't like working together, all of their articles are in the same spot. So the Autograph app, where your fandom lives, and we'll see you at the ballpark. But check it out. Again, referral code, REALFRG. But anyways, appreciate you guys listening through that. It's kind of, it feels like a longer read, but I do like it. It's a really cool app. Now, enough about the app. Let's talk Monday Overreactions, guys. This week, the folks on the friend of the show voicemail hotline, they went off. Appreciate you guys calling in. As I see my guy Zed in the chat says, promo god. Thank you very much, Zed. I'm going to give you a dollar bill, y'all. Zed's a cool guy, man. He's a good artist, good designer as well. Worked with him in the past. If you guys remember the old original Blue Heaven logo, that was Zed. So I appreciate him. I think I might have it. Yeah, there it is. Actually, it's right back there. So what's going on, Zed? Zedward. Anyway, Monday Overreactions. Let's get into mine first. People. I'll kind of. What am I looking for here? Spoiler alert, a little bit. But the people in the chat really want Andrew Friedman to get off his ass and start doing something. Not to say he's on his ass, but they want moves to be happening yesterday. But my hot take, this Mookie Betts situation. Maybe this is a hot take. This is an overreaction. Maybe there is a little bit of good. And I mentioned it in the video earlier today. Maybe there's some good in this for the Dodgers. Less so for Mookie, but there's some good in this for the Dodgers because it forces this front office to work. It forces them to think, to not rest on their laurels and rest on all that effort they put in the offseason. We know they spent a lot of money. They committed a lot of money. They had a really effing good offseason. But things happen. Players get hurt. Players play out of positions. Players underperform, Chris Taylor, Kike Hernandez. You need to make some moves. You never want an injury, but if you're able to make the most out of it and really see what your club is made out of, that's something you can take advantage of. And I'm hoping they are advantageous with this unfortunate opportunity. Find a shortstop. Find somebody that's going to be maybe the guy for the next couple of years, or a stopgap now and go all in on somebody like, I don't know if it's Hassan Kim, I don't know if it's Willy Adames in the offseason, but it's clear this team needs a shortstop because the options beyond Mookie Betts, who maybe isn't a shortstop, we don't know. We kind of know. The numbers say he's not a shortstop, but he shouldn't be a shortstop next year. He shouldn't be for the next 5 years. They need a shortstop for the long term. And now they can kind of assess what they have in organization. And there's my hot take overreaction. But guys, something fun, something exciting. And no, I'm not plugging more stuff. I just want to talk about, look at this. I made a new graphic. Huh, isn't that cool? We got a new overlay, guys. Monday Overreactions. This is supposed to be a segment for you guys, for the folks here in our Patreon, in our YouTube members, a way to call in and voice your opinion about this team. This is part of Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg. By the way, you get access to the Discord server where we're talking all the time during games. I'm there. A lot of these people in the chat as well are in there, including Diane, including Noah Ortega. We're still trying to get Richard in the chat. He's having some trouble with Discord, but we got Discord and we got also the same stuff available through YouTube members. So check it out. It's $5 a month. You're supporting independent baseball coverage. I said it wasn't going to be a plug, but I guess it turned into a plug. Anyways, check it out. Listen to the testimonials there in the chat. But yeah, let's listen to some folks here on the voicemail hotline, including one that's going to be blind. But first, I want to hear from Goat Yachty in the chat. Let's hear from our guy, Matt. Oh, I think I got to push one more button before I do it.
Hey, Dodger family. It's Matt. Others might know me as Goaty or Goat Yachty on Discord and YouTube. It's been a tough time this season, and it keeps getting harder and harder and harder. But Clint reminded me of something just now on the Discord, is that Vinny always said that nothing has ever come easy for the Dodgers, or for Dodger fans. We always feel like it's the season that got away. But there's one thing that I'm thinking about that might be able to give us a better perspective. And yes, things can always get worse. There could always be more injuries, or somebody could go down with Tommy John, or like what happened with Acuna or Spencer Strider and all these other things. Yeah, he broke his hand, and I don't know all the details of the break. I know there's no surgery, but he'll be back. Bones grow back stronger. And, you know, luckily, right now, there's nothing too major, and let's hope that doesn't happen. But it is a good test. It's also what Clint said. And maybe, you know, we could take this. This might give Mookie some rest, which might have him turn up really hot when he comes back, because we all know he needs some rest. And, you know, maybe they hit a different stride. Maybe this gets them to take Mookie out of shortstop. They pick up somebody new, and that kind of ends that experiment there. And makes us look and get somebody that we need to fill that position now that we have this urgency. So I know the Dodgers can figure out a way to get through the season. We always say that. And I think they will. I really, really do. It's tough, and it's one of those things. But we've been here before, so we just got to see what happens and keep our heads up. But love you guys. Take it easy. Chin up.
Loving the chat from Matt. Appreciate you calling in. Matt, first-time caller, long-time listener. Could literally say that when it comes to Matt. But appreciate, you know, being positive there. You gotta maintain some positivity through these tough situations. And maybe there is you know, more of the silver lining. Maybe the team kind of you know, groups together more through this adversity, and then when Mookie comes back, they're that much better. They're that much more prepared for October, which by the time Mookie comes back will be right around the corner. Next, we got another one. So our friend Richard from Devore, Richard Flores, he called in yesterday. He called in on Sunday, left a voicemail. This was before the Mookie Betts injuries. He DM'd me and he said, "Hey, scrap that. We got to talk about Mookie. We got to talk about this situation." So here is from our guy, Richard. I got to make sure I'm finding the right one here. I think it's this one. Yes, it is. Maybe it's not. Hold on, I got to make sure. Yes, it is. It is this one. Sorry, everything's a little scrambled. I got to add people's names to these. But here's Richard.
Well, Clint, if there ever was a day to overreact, today is it. So let's take a look at the injuries, shall we? Yamamoto is going to be out till after the All-Star break. I don't care what the Dodgers say, because we know they're about as trustworthy as Russian, North Korean, and Chinese state-run media. When it comes to Mookie, yeah, and that's a tough blow. But look at the bright side is we got other people that can fill the hole. I'm not too worried about it. If Lux can stay hitting, he'll stay at second base. Get Miggy at short, which is all who we wanted in the first place. But obviously not this way. And hopefully Biggio can stop doing his Statue of Liberty routine when he's got two strikes and takes the middle, right down the middle, and then basically just takes a nice little jog back to the dugout. It's time for all these guys to guts it up. Now's the time. Earn your keep. So let's just hope that CT3 and others and Kike and the rest of the bench, they decide to start earning their paycheck instead of going to the Dodger Stadium payroll office wearing a ski mask to get it. And finally, let's talk about Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft, can we please get it right to where if I have to search Will Smith and always get the actor, come on, do I really have to type in Dodgers? Why can't I just type in that Will Smith? Okay, that's really starting to piss me off. Fix it. Well, anyway, F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. F Matty Machado, even though he got tossed yesterday. Boy, that was a shame. F all Dodger haters. F the IL. F all Dodger injuries. And for the love of God, F the Ghost Runner. See ya.
Always a fun little adventure with Richard there. I like that point. It's like you know, the Dodgers and their information about their injuries are about as trustworthy as Russian, North Korean, and Chinese state-run media. You're not going to get a whole lot of information from this team, and of course, you know, F that Ghost Runner. Appreciate that. We always appreciate the F the Ghost Runner. Next up, it's our friend. And he had a little bit of trouble with his voicemail because the dog was bothering him. So I heard about that much. But let's hear from Noah Ortega real quick.
What's up, guys? It's Noah, as you know. And unfortunately, we lost Yamamoto our second best pitcher, and Mookie Betts the National League MVP frontrunner. And on top of that, we got those unfortunate City Connect jerseys, and I hate them. But let's be a little bit relieved that it's only June, so the probability of Mookie and Yamamoto coming back before the postseason is really high. And on top of that, this might be a bit of a wake-up call to the front office to finally find a solution to this freaking shortstop problem that should have been solved by now. Because eventually Mookie was going to move back to second base. They were just delaying the inevitable. I just hope that Friedman doesn't go shopping in the clearance aisle, because we have money and prospects to spend, specifically in pitching. Because I don't know about you guys, but it's World Series or bust. Let's go Dodgers!
Oh man, I might have played the wrong voicemail from Noah, but I think the message is well received there. Tired of the dumpster diving and fixing the team on a budget. This team has the money and has the power to make something happen, and they need to do that. You need to replace and you need to supplement Mookie Betts, and not just for now, but also into the future, into the next few seasons, like we were already talking about earlier in the stream. So appreciate Noah hanging out with us, Noah calling in as he does every week, and I appreciate the hell out of that. Next, I think we got to hear from Diane. Diane, be our voice of reason as well. I got to push another button.
Hey, Clint Nation. Diane Schroeder here. Now, wasn't that just the most awful way to end a homestand yesterday with Mookie and Yamamoto going down? Well, all I can say is, Andrew Friedman, get your checkbook out now and prepare not to dumpster dive on this one. We need a shortstop, and we need to fix the bottom of the lineup. So if we want to win a World Series or even be involved in one, this must be done. Well, that's my rant for the day. Join us on Patreon and hang out with us on Discord. We'd love for you to join us. Go Dodgers. Bye.
That Diane gets it. I didn't even need to plug right there. Diane just straight up gets it. You plug the Discord server, you plug the Patreon, you plug the YouTube members, and you tell Andrew Friedman, get out the checkbook. It's not time for dumpster diving. It's not at shortstop position. I don't want to see some has-been coming in. I don't want to see a 5 years retired Andrelton Simmons or a Jose Iglesias or even a Paul DeJong, which I know some people like. I would rather see a Bo Bichette over a Paul DeJong, and I don't know how. We really need the Blue Jays to be bad for the next month. So hopefully they decide they're more inclined to move on Bo Bichette. You know who else called in though? Mostly at the behest of me. I said, hey, I want to get your thoughts on this. But it's producer Kevin. Let's hear from producer Kevin real quick.
Ahoy, sir. It's producer Kevin with a quick overreaction Monday take. I'm sure you've already gone over the various injuries from over the weekend. But my overreaction is I don't hate the City Connect jerseys. Objectively, the jerseys are bad if you just took them at face value, but considering all of the City Connect jerseys, save for a few, are pretty horrible, I actually like these in comparison to others. They do have a little bit of personality to them, even if the personality reminds me of a psychotic ex-girlfriend I had in high school. They're at least not bland compared to some others, looking at, Boston, Detroit, stuff like that. So are they great jerseys? No, but they're sure as hell a lot better than the first ones we had. So yeah, it's my overreaction Monday thought.
I appreciate the change in tone. It wasn't about the team. It was about those uniforms, about the Pop-Tarts, as some people have called them. We called them that in the Discord server. Alfonso says no connection to the city. My guy Zed saying the Los Dodgers was terrible. Yeah, that was not very good. I'll give producer Kevin a couple points on that one. Give everybody a clap so far for calling in. We got one more, but better than the first edition. maybe better than the second. It does have personality. It has more to it. I don't like it. I wouldn't be caught dead in one. I would not ever want to see one of those in my house. But MLB's doing what they try to do, which is try to sell merch. That's what they love. What they love doing here. Don Kim joined us in the chat, by the way, saying Dr. Shin asking, did Dr. Shin give a recovery timeline for Mookie? Yeah, it's 6 to 8 weeks. Talked about that a little bit earlier. So we will be without Mookie Betts for quite some time, and it affords them the opportunity to kind of figure some stuff out. But you go in, listen back after the stream is done. So now let's get our last one in here. I don't know. I haven't listened to this one at all, so hopefully there's no unsavory language, because that would be fucking rude. But here's our final caller on this week's voicemail overreactions hotline.
Hey, Clint.
Friend of the show.
Gabriel again. I just want to call and get your thoughts on Mookie. Mookie's out 2 months. You got Yamamoto out. You got Joe Kelly, Frazier, Muncy. You got over $100 million on the injured list. And was it a mistake spending all this money on Ohtani? And we're screwed right now. Mookie's gone. The team is not going to perform the way they did with Mookie on the team. The atmosphere, he's the head of the lineup. It's going to be different. The chemistry is going to be different. I want to know your thoughts on that. And how we're going to fix it. What are we going to do to replace Mookie Betts right now? You can't count on Miguel Vargas, even though he's been playing much better this year. Sorry, Miguel Rojas. You can't count on Miguel Rojas, even though he isn't playing better this year. Miguel Vargas, you also can't count on him either. Well, how are we going to replace it? Adames is iffy, but this is going to cost a lot. I want to know how you feel. I want to know what you think the Dodgers can do to replace Mookie, to replace Muncy, or what's going on? The Dodgers right now are falling apart, and September's right around the corner. How do we fix it?
There's an overreaction for you. Appreciate the call-ins on the overreaction, the friend of the show hotline, guys. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys call in at some point. Hopefully you guys subscribe, because that button was still active when I went back to the scene. I'm not really worried personally. I'm not worried about the chemistry of this team with Mookie out. I think for the greater part, a lot of this team has been together for long enough. Not as much as in recent years. We've seen a lot of change in over the last couple of seasons for sure. Particularly in the post Justin Turner era, but we saw it last year with, even though it happened in spring training, but they lost Gavin Lux early. He was supposed to be the guy, and they had to kind of find a way to work around that, figure that one out. And I think it built really good chemistry for this organization from that. Even if Gavin disagrees with me, I think that did something. So this is. It did something that wouldn't have happened with this club. So maybe this is something where, if we're trying to be as positive as we can about Mookie Betts being injured, it's an opportunity to really test what this team is made of, really test the resolve of Freddie Freeman being the vocal leader, needing to be the outright de facto leader. Can Shohei Ohtani, who's been through plenty of this in his career with the Angels, the team falling apart, the injuries, injury bug absolutely decimating those Halo rosters in recent years. Maybe Shohei needs to kind of step up a little bit, be vocal. Not to say he isn't, but maybe there's another gear to Shohei Ohtani, who's now once again very much the face of the organization. He is in that leadoff spot. He's the first guy you're going to see every game. I think they'll be okay. Hope I'm not wrong, but I think they'll be okay. But let's get in on the chat here a little bit more. People going off about the City Connects. Monster on the 4-string says, hate the confetti jerseys. They are a little ugly. Cole talking about the Hollywood script across the chest, the hospital on the back. I guess that would be a better looking one. What I liked was, I think the Dodgers tweeted like it needs no the jersey or all the little details they did. I think it was like, details that don't need explanation or something like that. But then there was an explainer as to what every little thing they put on the jersey was about. So I don't know. I don't really want to talk too much about the jerseys, but I know people have an interest in the jersey right now. We know Mookie's out. We know Yama's out. We know they're about to go play the Colorado Rockies in hell, also known as Coors Field. But, some people like talking about those, and I understand it. GI, I like this one. Anybody interested in a reunion with Amed Rosario, low-cost free agent after the season, some optionality with positions. Of course, we saw the trade for Rosario last year. Started out really, really good with the Dodgers before things kind of crumbled. I wouldn't say crumbled, but he kind of fell off, and then started losing his playing time, and then lost more playing time to Colton Wong later in the season. Rosario's having a solid year, but he's also kind of playing a little bit of everywhere. He hasn't played a whole lot of shortstop for Tampa this year. And Tampa's always in the race, so I don't think they're going to lose. They're going to trade away a bat. And that's one of the problems. The teams that have the bats, the players, the positions that the Dodgers currently need to fill, those teams are in it. And that's what makes it very tough. Like Willie Adames is the guy. He's 100% the guy that this would take this team, take this organization to the next step. I hope they're in on him next offseason or this coming offseason. But he's not going to be available because the Brewers are in the hunt. Rosario, less available because the Rays are trying to get a wild card spot. Same, Bo Bichette, the Blue Jays. I think they're 4.5 games out of the final wild card spot. Even these teams that know they have very little chance of winning a World Series, they want to get in, they want to make the dance, they want to be able to tell their fan base that they made it to the postseason, and that means something to them. Doesn't mean as much to the Dodgers because we know the Dodgers are making the postseason. Other teams, it's kind of more of an achievement. You can hang that banner, wild card participants or something. Maybe they do that in Arizona. I don't know. Shouldn't probably talk crap about Arizona because they swept the Dodgers last NLDS. But we're going to learn a lot more about who's available via trade over this next month and a half. You really got to hope for some bad play out of teams. Also, other teams are getting, other trade targets are getting hurt. They're getting injured. Like Luis Rengifo of the Angels, he was hurt. He was somebody that was kind of mentioned as a trade candidate, trade target. He's out. He's going to be hurt. But anyways, let's see. BC, is there a way to put the speaker's voice on the screen? I thought I had that. I had the little wiggly lines. So this makes it easier for me to not have to make a specific audiogram for each one. This is more sustainable in the long run for the channel the way I did it. But just throw that out there. Deborah Young says, "Oh, Clint, please go ahead and talk crap about Arizona." Man, both the Diamondbacks and the Giants. Giants, I mean, they were besieged by injuries themselves, but I was expecting so much more out of this NL West. And what I've learned is, for the greater part, I can kind of hammer pretty close to what the Dodgers might do, save for the 2019 season where I said they were going to go out and win 93 games on KTLA Channel 5 News, and then they went out and won, 106? I was off on that one. For the most part, I can kind of pin about where these teams are going to be. The National League West as a whole, though, fucking never. They're like, how are they so bad? How are the 21 Giants so good? Sold their soul to the devil, that's for damn sure. But anyways, screw the Diamondbacks, or in the words of Richard Flores, F the Diamondbacks, F the Giants, F Oracle Park. And that's what I'm going to say about that one. Kevin Newhouse talking about the Rosario trade. I don't think it happens. GI pointing out Bichette's been nursing an injured calf. It's even perfect. He has an injured calf. He belongs on the Dodgers. We like injuries, apparently. This is where they come to live. 14 Dodgers on the IL right now. Only two of them position players for what it's worth. But Noes, says, hit that thumbs up, guys, if you're just getting in here. Cole wants that Lindor trade to happen. Again, I'm not against it. I don't think it happens, but I'm not against a Francisco Lindor trade. But guys, let's look at now. Look ahead. Look at this Rockies series at the I hate Coors Field with the greatest of passions. I wish it would go to hell and die, but it is hell. And it feels to me like the worst possible place for this team to be right now. It's like not effing Coors Field, not right now. Like how tough of now, let's say not how tough of like a 72 hours is it? We get Yamamoto hurt. We get Mookie Betts hurt. We get these mostly hated City Connect uniforms, and you're going to Coors Field? What did we do wrong? What the hell did we do wrong? As we get a $1.99 super chat from Angel Enriquez. Thank you for hanging out with us, my guy. Angel says Cartaya needs to be traded. Get a big name in here. Cartaya, 100% somebody that should be on the trade block. They have a catcher dedicated to this team, signed with this team for the next 10 years, for 9 more seasons after this one. You don't need Diego Cartaya, and he can't really necessarily play a lot of different positions. You have somebody else ready to go. You have a couple of different catching prospect options beyond Cartaya. So if you can get him kind of continuing to rebound after a bad season he had last year, maximize that trade value, you send him. You send Diego. Let's see what else we got here. Kenny Chung saying Coors Field shows you what a G that Hideo Nomo was on that no-hitter. It's one thing I do wish. I wanted to ask Karros today on DT a little bit of Coors Field, his thoughts on Coors Field, like his worst experience or best experience there. But I didn't get a chance to went in real heavy in the paint, pretending to be professionally talking about Lux and the team, because it was a rough day for the team. But next time we get him on, I'll ask him about it. GI says not paying Lindor $34 million plus through his age 37 season. Cohen would need to eat more than half the salary to make it worthwhile. Then the prospect asks go up. So my trade package, it involves like $80-85 million coming back to the Dodgers, which again makes this remain more in the unrealistic kind of department, just because it's a lot of money. But that's, what is it? It covers $10 million a year. I feel confident. I feel good about Francisco Lindor at $24-25 million a year. I feel good about any of them. It's not my money, but I feel better about that than $34 million. It's a bad deal. He's never been an exceptional all-around player. I guess just really looking at the average, but when he's good, when he's right, we know Francisco Lindor. He's got the glove, he's got the arm, he's got the bat, he's got the pop, he's got the panache. He has stardom. It's faded. The stardom is faded since he's become a New York Yankee. What does that say about the Yankees? It says a lot. But you gotta eat. The Mets gotta eat $10 million a year to make that deal happen. But if you do that deal as the Dodgers, you got to be prepared to send some grade A talent. You're going to be sending some big time names. It might not be ready for primetime players. It might not be that many guys that are currently on the active roster. But there's going to be some guys that are very close and some guys that we have seen with this team. Cole, thank you, says Steve Cohen has been proven to eat salary. And that's where I think if the Dodgers wanted to make this deal, get this deal done, they can do it. I think there is something because Cohen wants to rebuild that organization. Their first plan didn't work. GI pointing out the bad. They are technically in a wild card hunt, game and a half out, but they're going to be sellers. They have to be sellers. They're missing too many pieces there. It's a very not complete organization. I think this team would rather go what Angel says, the Bichette route. I think they might go the Bichette route before they try to push to get a Lindor. But again, Coors Field, the storylines in Coors Field. Again, worst time to be at Coors Field. Worst possible feeling place for Bobby Miller to be making his not debut, but returning from the injured list. He's going to be starting on Wednesday. But you're here. the Rockies are a bad team, as they always are. You got to beat up on a bad team because right now, this Dodgers team can use as much extra cushion wherever they can get it. They need some cushion for the pushing. But 4-game series in Colorado, the awful, awful ballpark. You really hope 3 or 4 pitchers don't die or whatever the hell happens in Colorado. Hopefully Clayton Kershaw did not travel with the team. We know he did not, but get these guys better beds to sleep on so backs don't hurt, all that kind of stuff. Hate Colorado, but gets better, guys. It gets better because James Paxton starts tonight. You gotta love James Paxton starting at Coors Field, right? Right? He's never pitched at Coors Field, for what it's worth. Paxton never pitched here. He goes up against Rockies. I guess you can call him an ace. Quantrill. It's been good for the Rocks this year. I think it was like a 3.3 ERA. It's been solid. He's been a really good, really quality addition. But Kenny Chung getting ahead of us. Paxton, Miller, and Buehler. Buehler starts Tuesday, Game 2, against Austin Gomber, a lefty. So that's what we'll see right away. What's the plan with Miguel Vargas? Is he up here for no reason again? Or are they actually going to play him? I would like to see some Miguel Vargas. Well, not on defense. I don't want to see him playing in left field. But I want to see him hitting at Coors Field. But Walker Buehler, he has not had the most of success, the greatest of success at Coors Field in his career. 3-1, 4.89 ERA over, I think it was 11 starts. If you're trying to get him back on track, this is not the place to do it. And if he doesn't have his fastball, I'm terrified. I am absolutely terrified of Walker Buehler getting lit up at Coors Field. Really, really hope I'm wrong on this one, but you heard it here first, folks. As Kenny says, Buehler's got to ditch that four-seamer. Stick all sinkers, all cutters way away, some change-ups, a little bit of prayer, and maybe, just maybe, Buehler can escape with minimal damage. Bobby Miller makes his return from the injured list on Wednesday, going up against a fella called Ryan Feltner. I don't know who he is. He's been with the Rockies for a while. The name just does not happen to ring any sort of bells in my brain. But I said all that about about Miller and like Coors Field. Obviously, it's a bad place for him to come back. For what it's worth, made one start there last year, 7 innings, 2 runs. So, not bad. Not bad. But he was struggling a little bit during his rehab assignment. And the always important TBD gets to start on Thursday for the Dodgers. To be determined. Might be a bullpen game depending on how these next few games go. It might be a Landon Knack sighting. We'll see. But, they're going up against Ty Block, Dodger killer Ty Block on Thursday. So we'll we might post game on Thursday. What time is that game anyways? Probably should have that note up. If it's another 5, it's an early game, 12 p.m. Pacific time start on Thursday, so we will definitely post game. Probably not immediately, but Kevin and I, producer Kevin and I, will be here Thursday at some point after the game, probably 6 p.m. Pacific time. And apparently Alana and I are going to be on during the start of the game, so probably doesn't mean a guest on Thursday. GI pointing out this Ryan Feltner character. Been awful this season. He's been awful over the course of his career. I don't think he's ever posted an ERA over 5. So every bit of a Rockies pitcher, every bit. But all that said, my final take for that, my not so hot take, just Dodgers, please don't die. That's all we want. Just don't die. Do your best. We believe somebody believes in you somewhere down the road. But guys, that's about it. Survived another hour of talking Dodgers here with you, even though that's not the name of the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you're on the way out. It really helps out the channel. We're trying to get to 7,000 subscribers, as I've mentioned a number of times already on this channel. We're getting really close, and I appreciate y'all for that. It's free. I'd subscribe for you if I could. Join us in Discord via the Patreon page, patreon.com/realfrg for just a couple bucks a month. you can help support independent Dodgers coverage, independent baseball coverage, and, talk Dodgers with fellow Dodgers fans. And, of course, you get the number 2, the friend of the show voicemail hotline. You could also do the same here on YouTube members. So check it out if you are so inclined. I'd appreciate it if you did. If you don't, it's all good. Check out Autograph. Use that referral code. The link is in the description. Referral code is RealFRG. Appreciate it if you downloaded that. It would mean a whole lot to me because they would know that I'm doing a good job telling you guys to go download their app, which, again, I like the app. I'm not just selling it. It's what is it? Like, I'm also a member or whatever. It's a good app. It's a very clean app. Got to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters who are already in here for helping us continue to bring the best possible content to you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the great questions, the comments, the interaction. Thank you so damn much for the super chats we got in here. Appreciate you all as well for that. Join fans and Patreon. I already said that one. Shout out to the mods for doing a kick-ass job in the chat. Shout out to Zed for hanging out with us on the chat here. Haven't seen him in a little while on here. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Use that promo code BELIEVE. You save or you get 50% welcome bonus. I'm RealFRG on all of the things on social media. Check it out. Subscribe if you want, or follow me on social media. Don't follow me home. And that's about it. We'll see you guys on Thursday. I'll see you guys for more content here during the week. So, okay, thanks. Bye.